Hi folks, Dennis Vetosa, also known as Jeff Noodles, and today we're going to be talking about a phenomenon that started coming up on the right over the past few weeks. It stirred up a lot of conversation. A lot of people have been asking whether the era of the trad wife is over. Well, we are about to find out. Now, I had actually come across this individual we're going to be discussing today about a month or so ago. When I first saw her content, I posted the following back on July 7th. I wrote, MAGA is now just prostitutes parroting anti-woke talking points to promote their OF. That was on July 7th. Now, maybe I saw the writing on the wall, maybe I didn't. But about 20 days later, Lauren Witzke posted a tweet that ended up kicking off this entire discourse surrounding the woman we're going to be discussing today, Savannah. As of right now, Lauren's tweet has over 32.1 million views, and here's what she had to say. 5 years ago, we had brilliant conservative female thought leaders like Michelle Malkin blowing the lid open on mass migration and pissing off CPAC donors so badly that she was never invited back. Now, conservative female talking heads are just a bunch of shallow, disgusting skanks spewing low IQ takes about Muslims. Disgusting. Now, the reason this tweet exploded is because Lauren was responding to a video from Savannah Cannon, and that video is what started this entire discourse on the right. So before we get into everything else, let's watch the video that Lauren posted.
Can we please stop addressing Ilhan Omar as a congresswoman? I mean, she's literally a fraud. This is a person who came to the USA to corrupt its people and resources. She went from negative $65,000 net worth to over $30 million. And denies it. She denies it. And she blames it on an accounting error. That's not all. Then there's the winery with no clear location, no wine at all, no phone number, no visible operations. It seems abnormal, doesn't it? And then she proceeds to insult the reporter asking about these things, asking her to explain it to the people. And on top of all of these unknown things, she calls World War II World War XI. So how is someone so fucking stupid able to become an important topic in this country? She is literally the trending topic in the United States of America. It blows my mind. She is the opposite of everything that we stand for in this country. And she literally married her brother. We do not marry our brothers here. We don't marry siblings here. We do not do that.
So there are a lot of subtle as well as not so subtle things going on in this video. The video starts with her, well, spread basically full eagle, facing the camera. You can clearly see the print of her vagina. Her camel toe is fully exposed, and she makes sure that you notice it because she is adjusting her yoga pants, her very tight yoga pants, right over the area as soon as the video starts. That's what she does in the first few seconds and keeps doing repeatedly to bring your attention to it. She's also very clearly displaying her toes, you know, appealing to people with foot fetishes, and there is a pretty big market for that kind of content on OnlyFans. Unfortunately, it's a well-known niche online, which is why people joke about creating OnlyFans just for their feet. She also has very low-cut cleavage. She's very clearly presenting herself in a sexualized manner right out the gate. I think it's evident for anybody with a pair of eyes. But what she's saying are talking points that have been said on the right. She's almost verbatim repeating accusations and things that have been said about Ilhan Omar over the past few years. And she is very clearly reading this off a prompter. This isn't your traditional podcast where there is any sort of thought, any sort of original discussion or resolution about a topic or any sort of, growth. However you want to phrase it. This is just straight up brain rot. The informational value is a regurgitation of a narrative that's honestly already run its course, even on the right, and a lot of people are not really saying the things that she's saying anymore. This is discourse from like mid-2025. That's when it really hit its peak, when all those numbers were initially exposed. I think, if I remember correctly, through a New York Post investigation. And since then, Ilhan Omar has denied that she enriched herself in office in any sort of way. Needless to say, look, Ilhan Omar is secondary to this whole situation because it's very evident that this content, what is being said in and of itself, is just a hook to keep people watching long enough so that they'll become interested in the other portion of Savannah's business. Now, as I mentioned earlier, her videos have been getting posted and passed around because they're pretty basic conservative talking points with a shocking presentation. They've been getting passed around for the last month or so. They would pop up here and there for most people on the right, and they would share it as like a funny meme. But now that they captured more people's attention after Lauren made the initial observation, Other folks on the right noticed that she had an OnlyFans. Kaguya's Top Gal posted this, saying Savannah Cannon also has an OnlyFans, but she clearly makes more money LARPing as a right-winger. Grifting politics is now more profitable than prostitution, and honestly, I don't think so. I think that the right-wing commentary is a vehicle for her to get OnlyFans subscriptions. Now, that being said, you can't see it in the screenshot that I'm sharing here, but her legs are pretty much spread eagle. Again, it's actually more pornographic, honestly, on the left side of the screen where you see her doing the right-wing commentary than the picture that she has on her Instagram promoting her OnlyFans. Now, onto her Instagram where she posts these retarded videos. She has close to 300,000 followers. One of the pinned pictures is a picture of her flashing her vagina in her yoga pants while touching her feet. Obviously, clearly appealing to the same horny demographic of Indian men who are asking her for bobs and vagine, as well as more versions of the video that we just watched a moment ago. Now, here we have her original Instagram page. If you actually do a historical search on Instagram, you can see that she started doing this right-wing grift at the beginning of this year, around January, though she's been on Instagram for many, many years. And right now, she's posting these sorts of like thirst traps where she's in a bikini or in a fancy dress at an event. It's your typical Instagram hoe content. You go back about a year, you can see that at one point she tried to treat interviews. You have to assume that she lives in Miami because of the location. But, you know, it's honestly just brain dead, brain rot content. It's not even worth watching. It's just straight up cancer. It's the worst kind of content you can imagine, right? They just got an e-girl, the middest of the mid, who would probably rank a 3.5 out of 10 after the beer goggles wore off and her makeup rubbed off on your pillowcase, and you'd be like, man, what am I doing with my life? Anyway, that's who we're talking about here. That's the new voice of the conservative movement. Bobs and vagine. Now, all that being said, the ridiculousness around this situation didn't stop the memes from happening, and this is one of the memes that ended up popping up on the timeline, unfortunately, because if I had to see it, so do you, okay? This is Ben Shapiro in the same pose as the spread eagle lady that we were just talking about. There's also one circling around a Trump. That one literally gives me nightmares, and I'm not going to put you through that because we are going to keep moving with this story. Because there's more. There's always more, folks. Because this next video specifically started getting shared around the same time as Lauren's post went viral. And it shows Savannah discussing a topic that is very, commonly discussed on the right. But there is a catch. We should watch this video first, and then I'll update you on the other side.
It's always white people need to stop being racist. It's never minorities need to be more likable. If white people don't like you, it's usually not for no reason, actually. It's not because of the color of your skin. And if you come to white countries, it is not white people's responsibility to accept you the way you are. That's brainwashing. It's your responsibility to be acceptable to how white people are. Like if I come into your house and you say, take off your shoes, and I drag muddy footprints into your kitchen because I didn't listen to you, that would be an issue. We give minorities and foreigners the most cultural and political identity space in our own countries than we do our own selves, simply because we've been psyoped into thinking that that's the right thing to do. Bullshit.
Now, the reason why this video specifically is going viral is because, I'll just let the original author of the commentary speak for himself.
It's always white people need to stop being racist. It's never minorities need to be more likable. If white people don't like you, it's usually not for no reason, actually. It's not because of the color of your skin. And if you come to white countries, it is not white people's responsibility to accept you the way you are.
No change up, no curveball, nothing but fucking grift. Here's another base take you should copy verbatim. Being modest is good. Being an OF transplant grifter with your cooter out, reciting other people's opinions for attention, is not good. And it's just as important we deport women from politics as it is we deport immigrants to their home country, if not more. The most trad thing I can do, the most based move I could make, is to delete my account and get my lunchbox out of the limelight. If you're catching my drift, you either die based or you live long enough to see your takes recycled by e-thoughts.
I don't think that comes as a surprise to anyone, to be honest. She straight up ripped this whole video word for word. By the way, that original video is by Womp Tomp. He's on X as well as on IG. I first saw his video exposing Cooter Maxer Savannah Cannons on Instagram, and it's really not surprising. I mean, every time I see this chick on the timeline, I feel like I got herpes or something. I feel like I have to get an STD test. But anyway, it truly is the end game, folks. People are using political discourse to sell OnlyFans subscriptions. So don't be fooled. This woman isn't being altruistic. She's copying things word for word, or whoever is feeding her is copying things word for word and incorporating it into her scripts. And I say that because I don't even think she's smart enough to do it herself. I think somebody else put her up to it and said, hey, here's how you can easily make a whole stack load of money on OF. Here, just show your cooter, show your toes, okay? Show your vag, show a little bit of tits, and read off this prompter, whatever I write. And if you look at her page, you'll see she probably sits there and shoots 6 or 7 of these videos at a time. It probably takes her an hour, and she probably gets a fuckload of OnlyFans subscriptions from showing her vag and saying this stuff. That's really what the conservative movement has become, unfortunately. It's just these copy pasta talking points aimed at chud so a chick can sell bobs and vagine to sound deep in New Delhi. That's literally what it is. I mean, how black pill do you have to get? This isn't hope pilled, okay? There's no white pill here. This is straight up as black pilled as it gets. This is black pill, okay? This is the end game, folks. It is. I keep saying that because it is the end game. How do you recover from this? This is worse than Tana Mongoose selling Biden votes for nudes. Because at least Tana Mongoose was basically like, I'm too dumb to know what's going on. Just show me that you voted Biden and I'll send you a nude. This chick, Savannah Cannons, isn't even doing that because she believes in any of this. She's doing this for money. And the reason she got so popular and the reason it got to this point is because it clearly works. You have to assume she's making hand over fists into her cooter as money goes. Because just think about it. Let's do a cost breakdown. She has to rent the studio. She has to have somebody research these scripts for her or apparently rip them off, whichever one she's doing. Somebody has to load them into a teleprompter for her. Somebody has to edit these videos. They have to add captions. Again, she needs to have people do this for her because I don't even think this bitch even knows how to use a laptop. I think she barely knows how to take a photo on her fucking phone. But she's driving around Miami in a Maserati, probably getting pounded by the entire defensive line of the Miami Dolphins and some dude named Jamal working at Jamba Juice. Just getting fisted every night with Benjamins. Now, there are obviously a lot of people saying this is Hezbollah that is funded by Israel. I don't know if it's funded by Israel, but I am suspicious about why this sort of propaganda even exists. Honestly, though, this just seems like somebody who's money hungry and figured out a money glitch, then exploited it until people caught onto the grift. She's very clearly making a boatload of money. She doesn't need somebody funding this garbage. And look, even if it's costing her money to produce these videos, it's probably not costing her much. I'd guess it's under $1,000 in production costs. If she's spending more than that, girl, you're getting hosed. But all that said, it's unbelievable. This is it. It's the end game. And it just reaffirms that old Tim Dillon theory that the biggest mistake we've made as a society was giving everyone access to a microphone. Anyway, folks, you tell me what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and share it with a friend if you think they'll enjoy it too. Hope you have a terrific day. Take care. Peace.